A skilled programmer and a powerful robot are mysteriously reincarnated into a magical world ruled by massive machines called Silhouette Knights. Reborn as Ernesti Chevalier, he uses his knowledge to build the ultimate robot, but his ambitions soon begin to alter the world in ways no one could expect. The story begins at a small office in K District, K City. Programmer Kurata Tsubasa focuses intently on his work as his colleagues grumble about upcoming changes to a project. With confidence, Kurata assures them they can handle it before returning to his mecha-themed desktop. Later, Kurata finds himself in a model kit store, excitedly scanning the shelves and purchasing 3 kits: a 1/350 XX, an NG 1/100 Mephisto MK Roman 2, and an NG 1/100 High Divine. Meanwhile, his colleagues chat over dinner, discussing how Kurata managed to pull off the changes, along with rumors that he's an extreme otaku, his 2-room apartment reportedly filled with plastic model kits. Despite his otaku interests, especially in robot anime, Kurata's skills as a programmer are unmatched, making him a genius in his field. On his way home, Kurata steps into the street, pausing at the green light, but then a white car barrels toward him. The next scene shows his funeral, with family and colleagues mourning his loss. Among the flowers surrounding his Mephisto MK Roman 2 model, they remember his genius. In a surprising twist, Kurata is reborn in a parallel world as Ernesti Chevalier, an effeminate-looking boy born into the noble Chevalier family of Fremavilla. In the year 1268, 3-year-old Ernesti is traveling in a carriage with his mother Celestina and his grandfather Lori, who expresses concern about his small stature. Their journey is interrupted when a demon beast attacks, killing the horse and frightening the driver. Matthias, Ernesti's father, draws his sword to confront the beast, but is forced to retreat when the creature flies off. As a larger demon beast emerges, the carriage is destroyed and Ernesti falls to the ground. Just as the beast is about to strike, 2 solitary Silhouette Knights appear, launching a fireball at the beast. Ernesti, fascinated, recognizes the knights as resembling the robots he loved in his past life. His father, Matthias, is a pilot of one of the Silhouette Knights, and together with his fellow pilot, they manage to defeat the demon beast. Afterward, Matthias explains that if Ernesti trains in magic and swordsmanship, he could one day pilot the powerful Silhouette Knights. On that day, Ernesti vows to become a knight runner. At 5 years old, Ernesti dives into rigorous training, combining his natural talent for programming with magic, quickly becoming a prodigy. He trains in sword fighting with his father and magic with his mother. By the age of 5, he befriends twins Adeltrud and Archide Walter, whom he teaches advanced magic. By age 8, Ernesti, the twins, and other young trainees enroll in the Lehiala Pilot Academy's elementary school division for knights. There, they meet a young dwarf, Batson Termonen, and help him stand up to bullies. Batson's crafting skills lead to the creation of a new Winchester-type gun staff. Ernesti's brilliance doesn't go unnoticed. After demonstrating his advanced magical abilities, he negotiates with his teachers to skip ahead to a middle school-level course in Silhouette Knight mechanics. His skills and quick thinking win him the chance to enroll, setting him on a path of greatness. 3 years later, Ernesti and his friends, now seasoned academy students, embark on a field trip to study demon beasts. They are joined by senior students in their Silhouette Knights, including Edgar C. Blanche, Dietrich Kunitz, and Helvi Aubry. On their journey, Ernesti encounters the student council president, Stefania Serrati, who takes a strong interest in him. Later that night, Ernesti sneaks off to get a closer look at the Silhouette Knights and meets Edgar, who offers Ernesti the chance to sit inside his machine. However, their plans are interrupted when a horde of demon beasts attacks the camp. Ernesti, Adeltrud, Archide, and their senior students spring into action, fending off the beasts in an epic battle. As the group fights, a massive turtle-like demon beast threatens to destroy their remaining Silhouette Knights, leaving Ernesti and his friends to fight back with all their might. In the dense forest, the ground trembles as a horde of demon beasts stampedes through the trees. Through a telescope at a nearby castle, Knight Runner Stefan spots a massive Division-class Behemoth approaching. His commander urgently orders him to deliver the message to Jantunen. As the Behemoth reaches the castle walls, the Kaldito Knight Runners spring into action, preparing their rods to launch a barrage of spells. Fireballs erupt from their wands, but the Behemoth remains unfazed. With swords drawn, they leap into the fray, aiming for its head and legs, but their efforts are in vain. The Behemoth's massive feet crush 2 of their own, and its tail sends Stewed flying into the castle wall. Desperation sets in as the commander leads a final charge, attempting to stab the Behemoth's left eye. Just as his sword nears its target, the Behemoth's eyelids slam shut. In an instant, the Behemoth's fiery breath melts the Kaldito and its pilot. Stefan watches in horror, riding desperately toward Jantunen. Meanwhile, the students of Lehiala Academy of Night Runners find themselves in a perilous situation when they are caught in the path of the demon beast horde. Thankfully, Ernesti and the Silhouette Knights swoop in, minimizing the damage. As they begin evacuating the students, Stefania, the student council president, expresses her gratitude, even hugging Ernesti. This sparks a jealous reaction from Adeltrud, who pulls Ernesti into her own embrace, claiming him as hers. Archide, bemused, watches the scene unfold. Ernesti, curious about the sudden appearance of so many demon beasts, asks Stefania if they were driven here by some greater force. At Jantunen, Stefan arrives exhausted, informing his superiors about the Behemoth and its likely trajectory through Clake Forest toward the kingdom's capital. The senior guardian knight, gravely concerned, points out that even if they mobilize all the Silhouette Knights in Jantunen, they would still be vastly outnumbered. A Night Runner reports that the Lehiala students are currently in Claque Forest, escalating the urgency. All nearby Night Runners are immediately called to arms, preparing to leave as soon as possible. The Behemoth enters the forest, its presence causing panic among the students. Ernesti takes charge, launching a fireball to get their attention and directing the students toward the carriages for evacuation. Edgar, piloting his Erlcumber, takes the lead, intending to distract the Behemoth, while Helvi Obri and her Trandarchies expresses doubt that they can defeat such a powerful creature. Edgar reassures her, explaining that their role is to delay the Behemoth long enough for the students to escape. The Night Runners launch a barrage of fireballs, aiming for the Behemoth's eye. Dietrich and Jeffart overconfident charge at the Behemoth, only to be engulfed in its fiery breath. Dietrich, now terrified, flees, leaving Ernesti to rush to the carriage where Stefania and the Walter siblings are, determined to protect them. As the Guarer, piloted by Dietrich, careens out of control, Ernesti decides to chase after it, using his mana to fly. He finds Dietrich in the cockpit, too traumatized to move. Ernesti, ever determined, commandeers the Guarer, though its controls are too large for his small frame. Undeterred, he reprograms the Silhouette Knight using his magical abilities, connecting the interfaces to two gun-like rods. With his new control system in place, Ernesti finally manages to get the Guarer on its feet, joyfully realizing he's piloting a robot for the first time. Back at the carriage, Addie wonders where Ernesti has gone. Stefania, worried, comments that he left too quickly, and Kid speculates that Ernesti may have stolen a Silhouette Knight to fight the Behemoth. Stefania, still unsure, considers the possibility. The Behemoth slams its tail down, nearly crushing Edgar's Erlcumber. The Trandarchies and Solidary units face off against the Behemoth's massive head. Helvi dodges a fiery blast, but her attack on the Behemoth's left eye proves ineffective. Just as things seem hopeless, the Guarer makes a dramatic entrance, leaping into the fray. Edgar, thinking Dietrich has returned, watches as Ernesti, piloting the Guarer, makes his move. With determination, Ernesti manages to strike the Behemoth's left eye after several failed attempts to pierce its hard outer shell. Realizing that cutting or magic won't work, he decides to target the Behemoth's catalyst crystal, its weak spot. Dietrich, still recovering from his earlier panic, wakes up to find the Behemoth looming in front of him. Ernesti, focused and unbothered, instructs his traumatized senpai to stay quiet, as he's in the middle of an intense battle. After his sword breaks, Ernesti finds another on the ground and continues fighting, even as his mana runs low. He vows to take down at least one of the Behemoth's legs before retreating, hoping to look cool in front of his classmates. As the Guardian Knights from Jantunen arrive in their Calditos, they quickly assess the situation. The Guarer's acrobatic movements catch their attention, and Ernesti continues to battle the Behemoth, determined to hold his ground. With a new wave of Caldito reinforcements, the team launches fireballs at the Behemoth, but Ernesti knows it won't be enough. The Guardian Knights prepare to ram the Behemoth with hard cluster bunkers, causing the Behemoth to release a painful cry as the bunkers penetrate its shell. Despite the pain, the Behemoth retaliates with its fiery breath, knocking the Calditos away. Ernesti, undeterred, continues his assault, refusing to give up. He strikes the Behemoth's leg again, weakening its magic and forcing it into a vulnerable state. The commander orders another assault, but Ernesti's Guarer is pushed to its limits. In a final act of defiance, Ernesti transfers control back to Dietrich and steps out of the cockpit with his two gun-like rods. With Dietrich's help, they activate the air bullet spell, delivering the final blow to the Behemoth before the Guarer succumbs to metal fatigue. The next morning, the commander of the Guardian Knights gathers his troops for a debrief. As they recover the Behemoth's heart, Edgar and the Guardian Knights stand in front of the immobile Guarer, believing Dietrich to be dead. To their surprise, Ernesti emerges from the cockpit, pulling Dietrich out and landing on top of the Guarer. Edgar, shocked, realizes the truth. Back at Lehiala Academy, Addie confirms her suspicions that Ernesti did indeed steal a Silhouette Knight. Edgar, feeling guilty, apologizes for his earlier assumptions about Dietrich. Stefania asks Ernesti what he would have done if he hadn't been able to get into the Silhouette Knight. Ernesti admits that he would have run away with the others, acknowledging that his actions were a huge gamble. Helvi and Kid sigh, while Ernesti remains determined to one day pilot a mech that he can truly control. Meanwhile, in the castle of Kankunen, the monarch is informed about a 12-year-old child who defeated a division-class demon beast. Recognizing the name, the monarch is assured by a subject that the child is none other than Lori's grandson. At Schreiber Castle in Kankunen, Lori Echevalier presents his grandson Ernesti to the king, who is eager to reward him for his victory over the Behemoth. After much contemplation, Ernesti requests something unexpected: the classified schematics of an ether reactor, the core of a Silhouette Knight. His grandfather and the king's advisors, including Stefania's father, are stunned. The ether reactor is one of the kingdom's most coveted secrets, fiercely protected, especially by the secretive Dixgard faction. The king, acknowledging Ernesti's audacity, affirms that only he can grant such a request, and asks why Ernesti would want to learn the secrets behind the ether reactor. Ernesti's answer is simple yet ambitious. His ultimate goal is to create his own Silhouette Knight, unique in every way. But what sets him apart is his desire to build it himself with his own hands. When pressed about his motives, Ernesti casually reveals that it's his hobby, something that leaves Lori, the subjects, and the guards speechless. However, the king is intrigued by Ernesti's boldness and passion. He agrees to the request, but with one condition. Before he can learn the secrets of the ether reactor, Ernesti must first prove his ability by building a silhouette knight of impressive caliber. Meanwhile, one of the king's advisors, Marquis Salati, Stefania's father, orders his children to keep him informed of Ernesti's progress so he can report to the king. In Lehiala, the dwarves are busy working on a new project, hoisting up a massive silhouette knight hand. Their boss David is baffled by the damage Ernesti caused to the Gwar during his battle with the Behemoth. Ernesti, undeterred, explains his plan to enhance the performance of silhouette knights, which catches the attention of Batson and David. They are intrigued by his vision and agree to help bring it to life. The trio begins by using Helvi's Trandarchies as a test subject. They upgrade the silhouette knight, boosting its strength by 30% using stranded crystal tissues, and equip it with 2 sidearms, each fitted with magic rods, allowing the Telestale to fight up close and cast spells simultaneously. Meanwhile, Ernesti and Batson create Silhouette Gear's smaller, human-sized mech suits so that Addie and Kid can begin learning how to operate Silhouette Knights. Once the improvements are complete, the newly revamped Trandarchies, now renamed Telestale, undergoes its first test run. The results are promising and the Telestale performs brilliantly. Later, in a mock battle, Helvi's Telestale faces off against Edgar's Erlkumber. The Telestale nearly wins, only to fall short as its mana runs dry. That evening, the engineers celebrate their success, their spirits high. Ernesti, still full of ideas, dreams of more ways to improve Silhouette Knights. However, unbeknownst to him, another group lurks in the shadows, spying on their work, likely plotting their next move. While Ernesti and the engineers focus on improving the Telestale's high mana consumption, Ernesti continues to build weapons for the Silhouette Gears, including an automatic crossbow to enhance their combat capabilities. His ingenuity pushes forward, constantly testing new ideas to optimize their functionality and durability. Meanwhile, Addie and Kid report to their father, Marquis Salati, about the Telestale's impressive performance in line with the agreement they made. Impressed by the results, Marquis Salati passes on the information to Marquis Dixgard. In response, Dixgard, eager to see the new Silhouette Knights for himself, orders the deployment of 3 Telestale units to Fort Cassadesus, where he will personally inspect and test the knights. However, the journey is not without complications. As the convoy travels through the desert, they are ambushed by a massive shaker worm, a terrifying creature capable of causing massive destruction. The Telestales, with their enhanced firepower and magical abilities, effortlessly defeat the beast, firing magic bullets to take it down with precision. Unbeknownst to them, the ambush was orchestrated by the Order of the Bronze Fang, a rival group who has been secretly monitoring Ernesti's innovations, plotting their next move. At Fort Cassadesus, Marquis Dixgard meets Ernesti face-to-face. Dixgard, who holds a deep disdain for Ernesti's rapid advancements in Silhouette Knight design, is initially cold toward him. After informing Ernesti that he will be reporting the new Silhouette Knight design to the king, Dixgard is taken aback by Ernesti's nonchalant reaction. Surprised, he demands an explanation. Ernesti calmly reveals that fame and fortune hold no appeal to him. What matters most to him is his passion for building Silhouette Knights. To him, the act of creating and improving them is all that matters, and he hopes to continue doing so for the rest of his life. Dixgard, though still shocked, relents and agrees to proceed with the deal. But trouble is brewing on the horizon. As Ernesti's friends make their way to Fort Cassadesus to meet him, the Order of the Bronze Fang escalates their plans. They orchestrate a demon beast attack on a nearby village, knowing that the Scarlet Rabbit Knights, including the Telestales, will have to leave to eliminate the threat. With the knights away, the Bronze Fang seize the opportunity to set their own plan into motion, leaving the fate of the village, and possibly Ernesti's innovations, hanging in the balance. Edgar and Dietrich, accompanied by Batson, David, Kid, and Addie and their Silhouette Knights, make their way to Fort Cassadesus. Meanwhile, a sinister plot unfolds within the fort as Lady Kurhilt and the Bronze Fang Knights sneak in and hijack the fort's Silhouette Knights, including the 3 Telestales. Despite the efforts of Commander Fredholm and the Scarlet Rabbit Knights to thwart the intruders, Lady Kurhilt and 2 of her subordinates manage to escape the fort with 2 of the Telestales. As the Bronze Fang Knights make their escape, they cross paths with Edgar and Dietrich, who attempt to stop them with help from Kid and Addie in their Silhouette Gears. Realizing the seriousness of the situation, Batson and David inform Ernesti of the stolen Telestales. In response, Ernesti suits up in a Silhouette Gear of his own and joins Commander Fredholm in launching a counterattack to confront the intruders within the fort. Meanwhile, Dietrich, Kid, and Addie manage to defeat Lady Kurhilt's subordinates, but Lady Kurhilt herself proves a formidable opponent. She defeats Edgar and escapes to the city of Vendabadala. Dietrich attempts to follow her but is blocked by a horde of demon beasts. Just as the situation grows dire, Ernesti and Commander Fredholm arrive to aid them, pushing back the beasts and allowing Dietrich and the others to regroup. The next morning, Marquis Dixgard is left in shock as he learns that the intruders used curse bait, a forbidden concoction that attracts and enrages demon beasts, in their attack on Fort Cassadesus. He deduces that this scheme was likely orchestrated by another nation, further escalating the tension and danger surrounding the situation. Days later, King Ambrosius, grateful for Ernesti and his friends' actions, rewards them for their bravery. He announces the creation of a new order of knights, the Order of the Silver Phoenix, tasked with researching and developing even better silhouette knights. Ernesti is named the leader of this new order, cementing his role as a pioneer in silhouette knight innovation. In the aftermath, a recovering Edgar promises Helvi that he will retrieve the stolen telestale, which turns out to be her personal silhouette knight. With the threat of the Bronze Fang still looming, Edgar's vow sets the stage for a new chapter in the battle to protect their kingdom and the future of silhouette knight development. As the telestale is transported to the Fremavilla Kingdom's top research lab, the Silhouette Knight Laboratory, its arrival sparks excitement among the directors. Their goal is to reverse engineer the advanced technology and mass-produce silhouette knights, hoping to impress King Ambrosius with their results. Meanwhile, Ernesti and the newly formed Order of the Silver Phoenix dive into their own work, determined to continue pushing the boundaries of silhouette knight design. With the support of Marquis Dixgard, who delivers 2 companies of Calditos as base models, and the assistance of Nora Frickberg and the Order of the Azure Hawk, who have captured the spies working for the Bronze Fang, Ernesti begins refining his silhouette knight prototypes. With the espionage threat neutralized and no further leaks from the Academy, the team can focus on innovating without worry. Iru's first step is to create silhouette gears for the Knightsmiths to ease their workload. These new gears will allow the knights to work more efficiently, while the silhouette knights themselves undergo new design improvements. However, his single-minded dedication to the project leads to tension with his team, especially when an experimental test involving rockets nearly ends in disaster, prompting David to criticize Iru for putting his focus on the work at the expense of his own safety. Undeterred, Iru continues to push forward, developing a 2-seater cockpit design for Addie and Kid and a new silhouette knight shaped like a centaur. He also creates magical daggers that serve as keys to activate a silhouette knight, a measure put in place to prevent any further hijacking attempts. With the new prototypes and designs in hand, Iru and the Order of the Silver Phoenix head to the capital for a high-stakes showdown. Their goal is to face off against the Silhouette Knight Laboratory's Caldito Darsh models in front of King Ambrosius and his minister. The presentation will not only showcase their advancements but also prove the potential of their new designs, pushing the boundaries of what's possible with Silhouette Knight technology and cementing Ernesti's place as a trailblazer in the field. The pressure is on as they prepare to face the legacy of the kingdom's most powerful Silhouette Knights yet, bringing the anime to an end.